that John and Rachel are doing. So that's where Paraguay is. So Brazil, Bolivia, Argentina are around it. So we had 3 flights. So we drove to Manchester, and then we flew from Manchester to Frankfurt in Germany. That was about 2.5 hours. We then flew from Frankfurt to Sao Paulo in Brazil. That was 12 hours. And then we had about a 2-hour flight from Brazil to Paraguay. It's only 3 hours of a difference, so Paraguay is 3 hours behind us. So we weren't in trouble with the jet lag on the way there, because we're so excited about being with them and seeing the work. So we came into the airport, where we got our bags, and through the frosted glass, I could see the 2 shadows of Jesse and Alicia, and they were so excited to see us. And I was like, pinch me that I'm really here, and it was so lovely to see them. So then it was getting our bags on the roof of the car. So John literally is action man. He is action man. So we pulled up, we were going to a resort for 3 days, a really lovely treat for John and Rachel, the children. So they had some of their bags in the car. We had to sort some of the suitcases out because we had taken over chocolate for them and cheese that they can't get here. So that all had to come into the car to keep it cool. And then our suitcases went up onto the roof, onto this cover. John got it all tied up. And then there we are in the car, setting off to the resort. So, but first of all, we stopped at an ice cream place that we love. So, and I remember this was whenever David was in Paraguay last year. The only photographs I got were of food. So I get in the car and I said, "When do we get the ice cream?" Because I could remember the ice cream. And it's a Mennonite community in Paraguay that they started off a small farm making ice cream, and it has grown to this massive, like this is only a part of it. That's the whole shop that you can buy ice cream and dairy products. Over this side then, it's like, do you ever go to McDonald's and get like Mr. Whippy or whatever? It's a whole row of every flavour of ice cream, and you can get whatever flavour you want. So, and then there's people that buy big tubs of ice cream, and they just go along and get a bit of this, and it's a 2-kilogram tub of ice cream that they take home. But it's the Mennonite community, so, and it's a lot of the young people, like boys that are about 16 that are serving you, that are working in the shop. And then across the road is the huge big like factory and dairy where they produce all this lovely ice cream. So we had our ice cream, and then we carried on to the retreat. So this was a lovely special time for John, Rachel and the children, something that they can't get to do. So the church enabled this to happen. So we had 3 days, and the retreat is owned by very special friends of John and Rachel. So they have a restaurant in Paraguay where they live, in the town where they live, and then the family have made this resort. So there's all these like lovely like log cabins, and then the swimming pool. So the children had a great time. Jesse was cannonballing in, and he really improved his swimming skills. He was like swimming underwater, gaining his confidence, and it was just lovely to have 3 days to relax and spend time with them, do that. And this is where I said when I got there, we need to get a new photograph of you for our missions board. So we got some lovely family photos with them, and this is in the area where we were. It was just so lovely for them as a family. So we then on the Saturday returned back to their house, and we started to prepare ministry gifts to take to the community on the Sunday. So on the left, my sister, and some of you have benefited from the soap sacks that she crochets. So the soap sacks came out, we went to the shop, got loads of bars of soap, and then we have also little cardigans and bunny rabbits that Joyce has knit. So there's lots of new babies in the community, so these were gifts that were taken out to them. And one of the things that Rachel has said that they need, and that we'll look at collecting for them in the next come over, is newborn vests, and baby grows, because they go to the new family, and we'll see some pictures of the babies in a minute, and they take the little cardigan, some little toys, a little outfit, nappies, all the different things that they'll need to start off. So we prepared those, and then this was on the Sunday, driving to the church. Now we tried to get some videos, but it's so difficult. But the roads, it takes about an hour and a half. They leave the house at 7 a.m. This is the children as well. So Alicia is 10 and Jessie is 6. And there is no argument about, I don't want to go, I don't want to get up. They are up, they are ready, they're so excited to go and see their friends out in the campo, as they call it. It's an hour and a half drive. So we stop at the shop first of all for David and for wee Jessie to get some snacks on the way. And then we pray in the car. So John will say, okay, youngest to the oldest, let's pray. And we pray for the journey. And on the second Sunday that we were there, in the week, David and John had gone back out to the community and they were stopped by the police. Because David was a visitor and he didn't have his passport with him, there was a bit of what are you doing here? How long are you staying here? So we had our passports with us on the Sunday in the car, and Jessie's prayer was, please don't let there be any corrupt police officers, that we get to go to church without any trouble. And his prayer was answered. So this was our Elim community, my cup. I took my cup with me and taking a picture on the journey. And then this was David with a lady in the church. So at Christmas time, John and Rachel gifted the church family with their cups. Now they drink a tea that they have, the straw stays in the cup, and it's got like a metal filter that the tea leaves in, and then they keep pouring the water in on top, and they drink their tea that way. But that is the logo of their church out in the community. So about an hour and a half on the journey over bumpy roads. They are improving the roads. They're still dusty. It's this orange dust, and I wore my white trainers. Took my white trainers with me. I have to wash them because the orange dust. And the roads are so bumpy. They're making a new road, so at parts of it you don't know what way to go. I mean, it's amazing that they don't need any sat-nav. They are just driving on these roads and thinking, how do you even know where you're going? And there's big dips. There's dips on either side. There is a video when John is here later in the year that he will show of the very beginning of their journey to where they are now. And oh my goodness, it's only the prayer, the power of prayer, praying for them. So I would say every Sunday at 10 o'clock our time, say a prayer for them as they are travelling to church, that they get there safely, that they don't have any flat tires, that they don't get stuck. It's only the power of prayer. They have had, in the 14 years they've been in Paraguay, they have had no accidents, no stoppages that has got them to church. They've got there. So it's the power of prayer. So this was the children's ministry. So the whole church comes together first of all, in a big circle of chairs onto the trees, and then they sing their songs. They have a greeting time first, and so they have greetings. They have prayer for the sick. When anybody is sick, they just come forward. The church come around and pray for them. Then they'll have their worship time. So it was lovely hearing them sing like How Great Thy Art, Amazing Grace, other songs that we would recognise in their language. It was just beautiful. And then the children come across to the area that they're at. So at the minute, they're on this tarpaulin sheet, but right beside there is a metal frame that has been built that they're there going to cement, and the children will have a roof on it, and the children will be there under the shelter, a flat surface as well, because they love their colouring in. And the children on the left, there's like a big well with the lid on it, so the older children go there because they want a flat surface for colouring in. So they have their story with Rachel, so they're working their way through the Bible, so they're studying about Abraham and Isaac. So it's played in their language, audible, and then Rachel has the pictures that she shows them, and then she explains the story some more to them, and then they will colour in. And they love colouring in, and they will colour in about 3 big pages. They'll come back with another one, and Rachel will say, "Oh, that's so beautiful," and they get another coloured in page. The older people, the teenagers, they love colouring in because they've never got to do that as children. So then they, at the church then, so this is the circle where the adults would be. This is the first Sunday that David was gifted the men with the Carlisle United football kit. So we took 2 kits out with us. One for the men here in the church, and then another one for a different community that we'll show later. But they're all to the shade, and then Pastor Earmo, you'll see a picture of him shortly, he brought a message. And what's wonderful is it's not the white person that's bringing the word, it's the indigenous pastor who's bringing the message, and then John will bring a follow-up. John, Rachel, Alicia and Jesse are fluent in Spanish, and then in the community it's an indigenous language, Guyanese, and they are fluent in that. So they are they're singing, they are talking to everybody. Jesse at 6 was my translator. I was saying, "Jesse, can you tell the lady this? Can you say this?" Because they don't have any English, they don't understand English at all. But people that know me, I love to talk. So I'm loving to talk to people, and it's like, "Oh, can you tell them this?" So they're all gifted with their football tops. The ladies were gifted with T-shirts, and then the ladies and the teenage girls were gifted with the soap sacks and the soap for them as well. So then we came to the pigs and the piglets, and the tent said to me, "Esther, one of the pigs is named Esther." So please don't tell me whenever Esther is no more. Whenever Esther is food for the community, please don't tell me. I don't want to look it in the eye, and then, so they've got one pig, and then one of the community has brought their pig in as well. And they've got 4 piglets at the minute, and the pigs are so protective. At the AFM, we're showing a video from David being there last year and the progress. So I've done a little video which will show, and you can see me coming over, and the pigs are being very protective of the piglets. So I come close and I'm saying, "Here's the pigs," and you can hear them. And I'm not touching the piglets, I'm just going to have a look. And then the piglets are there safe, and the community bring corn and bring vegetation. So it's a whole community project. They all contribute and help. So the pigs and piglets are growing. This was given the ladies the T-shirts and the soap sacks. And then this is Pastor Earmo to the left, and his wife Liz, and their little baby Hosea. So he was gifted. My mum had crocheted a couple of blankets too, so took them over with me. And then the lady in the middle, this is her baby as well. So we did a couple of home visits. So we went to their homes, and it's I love it. It's brick houses, very, very basic. And she brought us in, and she was so proud to show us her new baby, and was so happy with the gifts that she received. And then the second Sunday, we did another couple of home visits, and this lady, again, very happy. She hasn't, this one is a little girl. They haven't decided a name yet. So many babies. And I said to Rachel, the church is really growing. And this lady, her next to her, she's also expectant, and they just had the babies at home. They have a couple of older women who act as the midwife, and they just deliver the babies at home. The final Sunday, we went to see a lady who had her 7th baby, a very, very poor family, and she was so embarrassed at us coming in. A lady who attends the church as part of their community. Her husband works out at a farm, so very similar to my family, because the older child was a boy, 5 girls, and then another little boy. So I was saying, well, same as my family, and she was so happy and was praising God that she got another boy. So she was really happy to receive all the lovely gifts for the babies, but they were lovely, and I was tempted to bring some home. I was like, I'll take this one. So then on the Monday, we went into the city. So this is Del Este, just like a typical street. This is like a market street. So we went up this street later on in the day, the whole way up to the top. And it's just all these different market stalls, but they said, don't speak to anybody, just say, no gracias, no gracias. Or was it sí? What was it they said, David? Yeah. Because then they'll stop you and they'll want to sell you stuff. So we went there, and then this is the bridge where we parked the car, in the car park. This is the bridge, the Friendship Bridge. So Paraguay is to the left, and Brazil is to the right. So in Paraguay, yes, David?
Brazil's, as you look at it, you're in Paraguay.
Yeah, we're in Paraguay.
Brazil's to the left.
Or Brazil's to the left?
Brazil's to the left.
That's what she's just
Or
said.
Argentina, sorry. I didn't even know where I was. I was just like... But this is that's wrong, that's between Brazil and Argentina. But Paraguay, there's no tax. So people from Brazil come, is this correct? Yeah, but people from Brazil come into Paraguay, buy loads of stuff, like fill their car, their van with stuff, and then they take the risk of driving back over the bridge, and they take a risk of being stopped by the police or not. So when we were having coffee, weren't we? And we could look out the window and where the police were, and cars that they pulled in, and then they're given a fine. They just take a risk of, let's try and see what we can get. So we had then gone on the bridge, and we were going over to the waterfalls, and we were pulled over, and they were asking John about the wheels on the van, because he got new wheels for the weather that we're in, and they were wanted to check that there was nothing in the wheels that they were sneaking across. So that was interesting. So this was then one of the days. This is a school that Jessie and Alicia attend. So one of the days the day that John were out, I went with Rachel for her to re-register the children. So Jessie is starting grade 1, so he's done like a preschool. He is starting grade 1, and Alicia is going into grade 5. So this is their school. It was all, the yellow part was all getting painted, freshly painted. Their classrooms are all there. They go from 7 in the morning till 11 in the morning. And then they come home, do their homework, and they do all their studies. They study English, where Alicia she said to me, I'm the teacher's assistant, because obviously her English is brilliant, and it was Rachel who taught. John has said, all credit to Rachel, because she has taught the 2 children English when they've been there. So they study English, they'll study mathematics, social studies, all the different things that they'll study. But they're in the one classroom, and Alicia said, school is so boring, because we're in the one classroom, we only get out for 15 minutes. But they go from 7 o'clock to 11, and it's not so hot. The afternoon then it's just so hot, and they couldn't be there. They come home.
How long do you get there? 7 a.m.
No. They only from their school is literally on the same street as where their house is. So it's only like a 10-minute walk. So then what we had to do, so they pay part private, so they pay fees for the year. Then you have to go to the stationery shop, and it used to be that they go around all different shops and try and get some books from here, some stationery from here, but it just was such a hassle that there's a little shop, again, just a couple of minutes away from their house that they can walk to. Half of it is the stationery shop, half of it is a toy shop, and it's like haberdashery as well. So you go there, and Rachel and the kids are in this shop every day because it's on the way to school, and they know the shop owners so well. So they just came in, and they got Alicia sorted first, who said grade 5, and they listed out all the books. So that's all the textbooks to the left, and then you've also got all your stationery, so all the different notebooks, a certain number of pencils, colouring pencils, a sharpener, a razor, rulers, compass. Then it's stuff for the whole class. So all the class have to get glue, craft paper, the rolled up craft paper, all this stuff that is on this list that they have to get and bring into school. And then it was Jessie's turn, and Rachel said if it was John, he would just go to the shop and just pick the stuff. But Rachel likes to get the kids to participate in it, so they'll take more of an interest and enjoy what they're picking. And so it's getting all of that. And then they all have to be, everything has to be labelled, all the books labelled with their names on it, get their school bag all sorted as well. Also, you have to take a toilet roll, so for them, so they have to do that. So all these different things that they have to get organised. So after that, then this is the resort that we went to. This is where the restaurant is. This is their favourite restaurant, and it's like a buffet. So they come around with all the beef is the #1 export of Paraguay. So this is the restaurant they love to come to, and so we had lunch together, and then we went to the Waza Falls. So David had gone here last year and he FaceTimed me, and I love waterfalls. And so we arrived, and then we have about a 2-mile walk in total. All these waterfalls. So Argentina is on the other side, and then this is the Brazil side then, David? No, what side? Are we on the Paraguay side?
We're on the Brazil.
We're the Brazil side.
We're in Brazil.
We're in Brazil. We're in Brazil. I see geography. I failed the geography.
So the far side of the falls is the Argentina.
Yeah, the far side is Argentina side. So the Brazil side, you get to see all these waterfalls. I mean, it was just.
Esther, you haven't got food on that picture.
Sorry,
You
Esther.
haven't got any food on that picture. There's no food on that
There's
picture.
no food. See, I bring the scenery.
Yeah, you go.
I bring God's creation. And we did this whole walk, and the waterfalls and the sound of them. So this is like towards there's a whole walk that you can come out. Well, there's loads of people. And then David had my mobile, and he was like turning it around to take a video, and I was so scared that my mobile was just going to, because we didn't have anything to hold on to it, and I was so worried about the mobile just washing away with the waterfall. But it was absolutely amazing just to see God's creation, this beautiful, beautiful waterfall. Then across the way is a bird sanctuary, and this is Rachel's favourite part. There's a couple from Africa that came to Brazil, and they rescued an owl, and they rescued another bird, and they have this whole sanctuary which is so amazing. The birds are protected because a lot of the birds would be trafficked, out of the country, so they have rescued all these birds. The kids love coming to it, so we spent time there. The beautiful flowers as well. It's like a rainforest, and the birds are protected in these. Like the children would say they're like cages, but they're massive. It's like as high as the church building. These mesh cages that the birds are in, but there's trees. There's like wildlife. It's all amazing where they are. It's just lovely to see. And kids love their pictures with these. So then this is a couple, Richard and Gregoria. So when John and Rachel first went to Paraguay, they learnt the language and they made Bible storyboards, and they knew that they had to go where nobody had heard about God. So they just went out in their vehicle and they just kept driving, and they'd come to a community and then they'd say, you know, have you heard about Jesus? Oh yes, there's a church just there. So they went on their way again, and they kept going to all these communities, and they would leave their telephone number. If you want to know more about Jesus, you know, call us back. And all these places they went to, Richard and Gregoria were the only people that phoned them back. So they have known them for such a long time, and they have a ministry that they work with a lot of the young people in the area. They have a Bible study, a Bible discipleship program with them, children's ministries with them, church community. So they are probably about, whenever they're going out to the community on a Sunday, you go left to go to Richard and Gregoria, and you drive for about another hour or so, and then they go right to where their community is. But we went to spend the day with them. This is, I was telling Yvonne about this, the rice salad, a salad rice dish that Gregoria, I watched her make it. So if you're at the AFM and the Banquet Nation, we will hopefully be making it. Marjorie, it's so lovely that you'll be making out today. So lovely to see you today. Just get another cuppa. Honestly, I could talk all day about this. And if you have any questions, I'll come right after and try my best to answer them. So yes, so Gregoria was making this rice salad dish that we're going to try and make for the Cross the Nations banquet. But it was just lovely to sit with them. We brought meat out, so we had lunch with them. They've got 3 sons and 2 daughters, and it was just lovely to be out with them, hearing about their hearts, their ministry, just about John and Rachel coming into their life. And again, one of their daughters is one of Alicia's closest friends. Whenever we got there, her little friend had written her a little letter, because they don't see each other that often. So it was just lovely to spend time with them. This is where the other football kit went. So this is Dale with the 3 sons. And then in the middle, John then sent us this photo once we came back, because they had a training session with the young people in the community. So Paraguay United is all over in Paraguay. So they were so blessed to receive their new tops. And it was just lovely sitting with Gregoria, hearing their story. This is their kitchen. And they're just such lovely friends for John and Rachel as well. Then Saturday was preparation again. So there was we're having a meal out in the community on the Sunday. So John and Rachel and David were cutting up, I don't know how many kilos of onions, carrots, tomatoes, but we knew there was a new baby that we're going to see on the Sunday. And David said, Esther, you could rustle up a crochet blanket. So the little stationery shop, went back there, got the wool, got the crochet hook. For 8 hours, I was crocheting. I only stopped having my dinner, and at 10 o'clock at night, I got the blanket finished. So this is me. I was in the aircon with Netflix. And they were in the kitchen preparing all the food. So, and then on the Sunday morning, my arm was so sore. I said, where's my arm? It's all inflamed. It's so sore. Paraguay mustn't agree with me. What is wrong with my body? And it was only on Sunday night I realised repetitive strain. Repetitive strain, so it was all inflamed and sore. But anyway, that was the wee baby. The family were so proud, so proud to give them.
David.
So this is the lunch test. We again drove out to the village, and the catering to the left.
Is she married
And
too?
they made this big pot of, it was beef, like a beef stew, and David and John cut the beef up. There was not one bit of fat on it. It was so tender. It was in this massive big pot with the tomatoes and the onions and the carrots. And then they made spices and passata, and I'll give you the rest of it. And then cooked the rice and put the rice in like a risotto. And then they had the bread rolls in it, and all lined up. And everybody was fed. Some of the families had like one big bowl with a couple of spoons between the shared. People that couldn't make it, they took that into their homes, took food to them. And then this is the catering team doing the washing up then. Washing it all up, and then with tables out that all the plates dried in the sun. But they absolutely loved it. And like here, whenever there's a meal, there's no talking, they're all just eating. And they really enjoyed it. This was the car on the way back then. So the lorry, the dust. And at one point, whenever we were driving, Alicia and Jessie were in the back. This Esther, look back, and it was like the back of the car, the dust all coming up. So the next day, John and they take the car back to to get it washed, take it to the car wash, and they have to lift it right up, get right underneath it, give it a really good clean. So then Mrs. Jessie and Alicia in their school uniforms, we had already left. So we left on the Tuesday to travel back to the city, which is a 3.5-hour journey. Our flight was the following morning, but rather than John and us having to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to make the journey, John, David and I went close to the airport and stayed there that night. And then this was Alicia and Jessie with their school bags, all ready to go off to their first day of school. So that was on the Wednesday, and then that was John taking a photograph of us as we were leaving to begin our journey home. They changed our flight, so that morning we got an email to say your flight from Frankfurt to Manchester has been cancelled. And you can try and get your own flight, or we will try and get something resolved. So we went to the airport, John was with us, and the lady said, oh, your bags are going all the way to Manchester. And we were like, okay, well, we've no idea how we're getting there, but at least our bags are going. And just before we got on the plane then at Paraguay, we got the email to say they were redirecting us from Brazil to Munich, and then from Munich to Manchester. So then there was going to be a delay. So we had 8 hours in Brazil airport. We didn't fight at all. We were very amicable with each other. It did not cause us any stress. We were very chilled.
After what you just said.
We then got to Munich, and on our long flight as well, God was so good, we had an extra seat. So our 12-hour flight, we both slept like practically the whole way. We had such a good sleep. Then we got to Munich, got to our gate at Munich, and they said, your flight has been cancelled. So there was a medical emergency from Manchester to Munich, which had to be redirected to Austria. So we were just like, well, dear lovely person, we were playing wherever the medical emergency was, we knew that we would get home. There was a lovely Liverpool family that we sat and chatted to, and they'd been on holiday skiing, and we chatted to them. And then about 2 hours later, plane came and we got back to Manchester. And it was just amazing. It was wonderful just to be with them. It was very similar, like out in the church, the community part, very similar to Cambodia, just the rural area. And the first Sunday, I was just so emotional and thanking God for them listening to John and Rachel, listening to God's heart, listening to God's voice to say, go. And they literally, were told to go out into the highways and the byways, and they definitely do. And an amazing family, all of them, all 4 of them, missionaries, the lives that they've impacted. just doing an amazing work, and it is their life. They honour God completely, and it was just wonderful to be with them and to see what their life is like. And for me to spend time with Rachel and the children, whenever David and Joel were out, and just seeing like where the school is, where they get their shopping, you know, what life is like for them. So, any questions?